jumping right into it. Ain't no plan going on here. This is The Godfather of Harlem, Season 1, Episode 10, the finale. Okay. Uh, One of the characters, Chin, the mob boss that's warring with the main character, Bumpy Johnson, uh, he gets everything he wants and more. All right. So he's finally got what he wants. All the mob families are on his side when it comes to dealing with Bumpy. And the black gentleman that's been dating his daughter is finally murdered in a bit of a corny fashion, but he is nonetheless. Hate to see that character go. It's kind of interested to see where those two lovebirds would go, where this Cinderella story is. It Cinderella? It's not Cinderella. It's the story of Romeo and Juliet. Obviously, I'd love to see where that story would have went, but it doesn't look like it's going to go any further than this season. Um, so try to get an overview. So Bumpy's miraculously healed from his last encounter with bullets flying at his body, right? Um, but he fears for his family's safety, so he's sending them down south. Which, if you have that much money, and I don't understand if you have that much money, why you don't have a separate home somewhere, why you don't have a hideaway or something like that, a backup house. I just don't. I'll never understand that. I know I would if I had that much money, that much extra cash laying around. I'd have a extra home in another state for sure. Uh, and if I was doing that type of dirt, putting in that type of work in my community, right? So basically he's running out of options, and he's running around pleading to different parties involved in this situation, trying to create a play out of nothing. He's basically pivoting away from danger, right? But seems like nothing's going his way. Now they interject the real events of the president at the time being assassinated, which is Kennedy. This is early '60s, remember? Um, with them doing that, it only plays into Bumpy's thinking that, the mom's behind this, the assassination of Kennedy. I mean, that's been a long theory as far as why Kennedy was killed. That's been a theory forever. But they spell it out pretty clear of at least their thoughts on why Kennedy was killed, which I've heard numerous times. Where was I going with that? Where was I going with that? Oh, so uh, that playing out on TV, Bumpy actually feels, if they get him, they get me, whatever. So he starts moving his family away from it, but this time he wants to be alone. Uh, Now we're gonna go back and talk about Chin. So Chin's all distraught about uh, not getting his way. He wants to kill Bumpy and doesn't want his daughter dating a black guy. The two lovebirds are reunited after their little falling out. Things are going right for her boyfriend Teddy at this time. He's got a record deal. He's opening for big names. He's got some money in his pocket now. He's got a chance to go to L.A., which is where the daughter always wanted to go. Whose girlfriend always wanted to go. The daughter of Chin. He winds up getting shot. Now it looks like he may be dead, but I've seen other characters come back from the dead numerous times. So I'm waiting to see what's going to happen with that in the next season, because this is the season finale. Okay, so continuing on, uh, what happens to play out? They ask Bumpy to a meeting, all the mob bosses. He reveals the fact, yeah, I killed the guy, killed the main man, so now it's a go for you, so you're going to have to die. That's just the way it is. So Chin can't be more elated about this, but this happens. This takes place before. I'm not trying to confuse anybody. This takes place before his daughter's boyfriend gets killed. If that makes any sense? Well, of course it makes sense, right? It takes place before it. So now Chin's got everything he wants. There's a hit out on Bumpy, and her daughter's not dating the black guy anymore. Okay, so you got that. Now let's see what's going on here. Uh, but of course, sneaky underhanded Chin has hired some guy from straight from Italy to perform the hit on Bumpy. Bumpy's pretty smart guy. At least the character's pretty smart. He knows that's happening. It's a decent fight scene that ensues. I mean, his daughter comes there looking in on him, her daughter, and his wife. Of course, the daughter and the wife are gone. She gets poked with a pretty large kitchen knife, what it looks like to be in one of her lungs. I'm curious to see where that's going to go. Bumpy almost gets choked. They both have revolvers, which are 6 shots, and I think they were pretty accurate in the rate of fire. I think they both fired 6 shots and ran out, and they start grabbing weapons in their environment. Kitchen knife being one of them, and the guy had this. That's his favorite thing is this piece of wire, which is used to choke people, which is, in my experience, not that I've choked anybody with some wire, but it just seems to be uber ineffective. The best method of choking anybody is this little. See that little? I can't show you and hold the phone at the same time, but there's a little bone right. Let me see if I can do this. There's a little bone right here in your wrist. You want to get that right there on that windpipe, and you want to grab your hands and you want to just squeeze. But yeah, that's what there's plenty of people out there who know that, because believe it or not, jujitsu has become very popular. So anyway, let's see what's going on here. What's going on here? What else happens in this episode? I know I'm forgetting something. Yeah, it looks like I'm waiting to see the next season. I'm waiting to see if Bumpy's daughter survived and if Tay survived. I don't know yet. Damn, what am I forgetting in this episode? Oh, the plight of Malcolm X. So, I think the risk that this series takes is it brings in actual people who existed and did a lot of things for plenty of different communities into the fold of things, and you could portray them badly or greatly or omit things in order to fit the narrative of the series. And I don't know because I wasn't there, I wasn't alive, but this is the beginning of the end. This show started in the early '60s and it's chugging along. I mean, Kennedy's assassinated. The next major event after that probably has to be America's intervention in Vietnam in like '64, or was it '64 or '65? I can't remember. Probably '64. Yeah. But they're also dealing with Malcolm X, and I think Malcolm X. Can't remember. I should have looked it up before I did this reaction. But Malcolm X is assassinated sometime during the late '60s. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% if he went before Martin Luther King or if it was him first. God, I feel like I should know that, huh? But anyhow, they're leading up to that. This is the beginning of the end. They're showing, which is interesting. Sweating because it's a little warmer today. But anyway, they're showing the feelings of jealousy brewing inside the Nation of Islam, and they're showing one of they've picked a villain as far as things are concerned for the nation. They picked a villain who's against Malcolm and wants to take his place, and Malcolm's supposed to be the next leader, but the leader is all the while the leader is still kicking and going and strong. So I'm dying to see. I hate to use those words. I'm dying to see what's going to happen to these characters in the next episode. I mean, I'm just going to watch it and see. There's nothing I can do. Yeah, so I got to check up on a few characters in the next episode. Not check up. I want to see what happens to those in the next episode. And this is the finale. So if you like me sweating and talking about my limited knowledge of current and past events, and also talking about this episode that I'm watching, check out my other videos. Of course, Godfather Harlem, Breaking Bad, Mandalorian, which I don't like. I think my dog's gonna get ready to bark. I've done Chernobyl, also Futurama, which I'm getting back on. So go check out those other videos and subscribe.